Welcome back, everyone. Today we're taking a deep dive into the very human struggle with greed.
Oh, yeah, greed. It's a powerful force. We'll be exploring this through the lens of a short story.
A short story called The Price of Greed. I think this one might hit a little close to home for a lot of us.
It really does. This story, it doesn't pull any punches, it just throws you right into the thick of it with this guy, Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob, this guy who's already incredibly wealthy, but still absolutely consumed by the need for more.
And that's the heart of it, isn't it? That feeling of never enough.
It's like no matter how much he have, he's always chasing that next big score, that next treasure.
Always wanting more, always striving for more. Have you ever felt that? That insatiable hunger?
Oh, I think we all have in some way. That desire for more. It's so deeply human.
Absolutely. Whether it's for material possessions or recognition or even just that feeling of security.
And in Jacob's case, that desire leads him down a dangerous path.
Oh, yeah. He risks everything, his relationships, his well-being, to go after this legendary treasure.
And it's almost like he's blind to the potential consequences.
Well, there is that scene where the guide warns him, some things are not meant to be taken.
That line gives me chills every time. It's like straight up foreshadowing.
Totally. It's like a giant warning sign flashing right in his face, but he just ignores it completely.
Why do you think that is? Why do we tend to brush aside those warning signs when we're so focused on getting what we want?
I think it's that tunnel vision greed creates, you become so fixated on the goal on that more that you lose sight of everything else.
And that guide, I see him as a symbol of our own inner wisdom, that voice of reason we all have.
Right. That little voice that's trying to steer us in the right direction towards what truly matters.
But sometimes we just choose not to listen. And in Jacob's case, that choice has some pretty drastic consequences.
Well, yeah, the whole cave collapses on him.
Talk about a symbol. It's like the universe itself is pushing back against his greed.
It's like the mountain, the embodiment of nature, or even a higher power saying, enough is enough. And the thing is, the very gold he was so obsessed with, it ends up trapping him.
It becomes his prison.
Exactly. The symbol of his ambition becomes his downfall. And that ending, oh man, the irony is just heartbreaking. He finally gets everything he ever wanted, piles and piles of gold and jewels.
But he's trapped alone, and ultimately it costs him everything.
It really makes you think about what truly matters in life, doesn't it? Is it the fleeting satisfaction of material wealth? Or is it something more lasting, something more meaningful?
This story, The Price of Greed, it's not just a cautionary tale about one man's obsession. It's a reflection of our own desires and the choices we make every day.
It's a reminder that we all have the potential for greed within us, and it's up to us to recognize it and to choose a different path.
So how do we do that? How do we guard against that insatiable hunger for more?
I think it starts with awareness, recognizing those never enough thoughts and asking ourselves why. What's driving this desire? Am I chasing external validation, material possessions, or something deeper?
And are we willing to compromise our values, our relationships, our well-being in that pursuit?
Those are tough questions, but they're the ones we need to be asking ourselves.
It's so easy to get caught up in that rat race, to believe that more will finally make us happy. But this story, it reminds us that true wealth lies in something much more profound.
It's about finding fulfillment in our connections, in our contributions, in living a life that's aligned with our values.
So as you go about your day, let this deep dive into greed stay with you. Think about what the price of greed might be whispering to you. What are your treasures, and what price are you willing to pay for them? It's a question worth asking again and again.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.